It was sack up Saturday. Iowa held up their end of the bargain, but that sack was only half full.
It's interesting. I got kicked in the sack. I feel like I just been, the movie in Dumb and Dumber when he's at the restaurant and he's just punching that dude in the nuts. Ping! Ah! That's what I feel like I went through in Boulder on Saturday.
That was rough, dude. That's shoot. I think that might be the most frustrating loss Iowa State's had since that horrible 4-win season a couple years ago.
Since
3
Ohio.
years ago.
No, it was since Ohio.
Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
That was that season, or was that the year after? That was the year after that, right?
That was the year after. Yeah, it was since Ohio in my mind.
Yeah, that was 2023, and then after that, kind of turned things around. I'm worried for this season now. If I'm an Iowa State fan, I don't know what's out there, and I don't know how you're going to get there.
Well, happy Monday, everybody. Hope you're having a great start to your work week.
Well, I think Hawkeye fans are.
I got an extra kick to the stones yesterday with Fred Warner.
Oh my God, I thought
going
about
out
you.
with the ankle. Like, we're down Bosa, we're down Warner.
Between your
Purdy,
2 football teams, Van Woke.
Kittle. Like, why? Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Everybody's hurt.
Well,
and then congrats on beating Wisconsin. The Iowa Penn State game, and how all of a sudden Iowa's a 3-point favorite. And James, it might be one of the great turns. And I hope somebody here bet on Iowa in the preseason when you could get it at like 15 or whatever the point spread was.
And Matt Campbell is the next coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Stop it.
All that and much more coming up right meow on Two Guys with Chris and Chris.
Good morning, oranges. Top of the muffin to ya. Potato salad. We still on for lunch? Great. Sliced bread. You're the best thing I've seen since, well, you know. Oh, hello. Don't think I forgot about you. Friendly at Fareway. It's more than just a name.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The iconic Paul McCartney got back live. A once-in-a-lifetime must-see event. Paul McCartney, performing a catalogue of music that's formed the soundtracks of our lives. Casey Centre, October 14th. Get tickets now at highvtix.com.
Hey, it's Murph and Andy, and we love talking sports and more.
Catch us live at 1 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on Iowa Everywhere.
And if you miss it, just go to iowaeverywhere.com. You can watch or listen there or wherever you find your podcasts.
Chris Williams, Chris Hassel. 2 Chris's, 1 network. This is Two Guys. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Two Guys. Exclusively on Iowa Everywhere.
What up? Monday morning. It is the 13th of October, 2025. I am Chris Williams. I'm joined as always by Chris Hassel. Matt Van Winkle produces the program for us here on Iowa Everywhere. Reminder that Murph and Andy will be coming up today at 1 live here on Iowa Everywhere, so we look forward to that and their breakdowns of this weekend's game as well. We led with it in the cold open, tough one for the Cyclones, and Iowa just, Chris, I was doing my post-game stuff for my Airbnb, and so I had the Iowa game on, but I couldn't watch it that closely. And you guys were just up. Like, that was one of the most – that had to be one of the most fun Iowa games in recent memory because it was just like there was no drama. Like, bam, you're just up 17-0 in the first quarter, and the thing's freaking over.
Yeah, it was over early, and honestly, the offense didn't have to do much. That was all about the defense creating short fields and turnovers.
Yeah, it was
and
great for you.
It was just a road grader of a game for that Iowa defense, and a total embarrassment for Wisconsin. But I think the bigger story is Iowa State's season off the rails.
It's pretty tough, dude. Second week in a row where I thought this loss was a lot worse than the Cincinnati
Way
one.
worse.
Yeah. Where you just felt like, even at the end, like you still felt like you played like crap and had every opportunity in the world to still come away with the win. And really kind of incompetent in certain moments, right? Like the execution, the offense is just one of the most mind-boggling things to me because it's like they're moving the football really well. They're averaging over 6 yards per play, and then just bad penalties and drop snaps and bad reads and drop balls and bad play calls, and it's just one like they're just playing really.
Yeah,
poor
it was
football.
like everything. There wasn't like one thing you could. Some fans might point to the penalty that was picked up. Clearly, that was the biggest play in the game, but that's not the only reason they lost. But
which
it was
is still a big deal.
It was.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I just rewatched the game this morning. And even in Iowa State's, some of their successes in this game, they made major mistakes. And I go back to when Iowa State took the lead 17-14 in the second half. And then for no reason whatsoever, you have a guy who gets in the face of a Colorado player after the touchdown and draws a 15-yard penalty that was then assessed on a kickoff that had to be kicked by a 320-pound offensive lineman, which was, he did what he could, but it was a line drive kick that, since you're backed up, was caught at the 20. Colorado returns it almost to midfield, and then boom, 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 they score and retake the lead, and you never got it again. Like, that was a huge play in that game. You cannot be making those kinds of mistakes if you're Iowa State.
Yeah, especially like with the kicking thing, right? Like, that's hard to do when you have a real kicker. Like, you're going to give them good field position, and then you're trotting out this 310-pound walk-on offensive lineman to do your place kicking duties, and you're just setting yourself. John Hancock talked about that. It was actually, I think, after the Iowa game, where it was like, feels like every time Iowa State's offense did something well at that point, the defense would just go and give up a touchdown. And this was even when they were winning, and that was a good indication of that. I want to talk about Rocco Becht is where I want to go, because I mean, you're looking at a guy where I think I gave him my triple B, or I went long on like him 3 weeks ago about how, man, just looks like an NFL guy.
How he had taken that next step.
And then and he has completely regressed in the his Pro Football Focus rating from this game was a 53. This is a guy who had been in the 80s and 90s all season long through the Arizona game, and it's just completely, he's missing throws, he's dropping snaps, I know he's missing reads that are, his read options out onto the field, and I don't know, he looks like a different guy. I'm speculating that he went into concussion protocol in the Arizona game, and he took that hit against Cincinnati, and I wonder if it's just like caught up to him. I really don't know. He made a couple of really good throws in that first drive that are drops. Like, just, hits the guy in the hand and just drops the pass. They are just really, really struggling offensively to put it together because, again, Chris, they're moving the ball. That's what's, to me, even like more frustrating. Bloom gave me a great stat last night that there's no team in the country that's gotten into the red zone more this year than Iowa State. But they're not able to capitalize, and now you can't kick field goals either, right? Like, they punted from the 28-yard line. It was a 4th and 12, and they had to punt from the 28-yard line. So when, again, you add all this stuff up, and the offense just has to be scoring touchdowns. The offense, it can't make the mistakes that it is continuously making to give yourself a position to win, because I don't think Colorado's offense is very good, but the defense was pretty good on Saturday. Like, they, compared to that Cincinnati game, like, they were a much, much better defense. They had a blown coverage where I think it was Patton and one of the young corners had a miscommunication and it left the guy wide open in the third. But they were very competent defensively. I don't know how long that's going to last when you play better offenses. We'll see. But this has to be like where your dogs, where your Roccos, your, Burkles, your Bramers are leading you to victories. And when Rocco is completing, he's 18 of 33, that ain't gonna cut it, man. Like, there's not many teams on their schedule they can beat if they're playing offense like this when you look the rest of the way. When
one person's on, the other person's off. Like,
it's like
Rocco,
my golf game. When I'm hitting the driver well, I can't putt, I
mean, two perfect passes to Eskildson early on in that game and dropped. And then he starts maybe pressing a little bit, and he's a little bit off.
Even that, like, the penalty, I think the biggest play of the game, honestly, was the Bramer holding on the Abu Sama touchdown on the first drive. If you're the away team, and I was there, this was right in front of me, and you punch it in the end zone, Iowa State needs confidence at that point. You're on the road after a loss. You have a great crowd. You have a Colorado crowd that is kind of iffy. They I felt their energy. It was nervous energy. If you go in and get them down 7-0 like that, and it was a pointless thing to do. Like, Bramer didn't need to hold in that situation, and you're up 7-0. The offense is feeling better. It could have changed everything. Instead, you end up at a 4th and 12 on the 28, and you have to punt. It's like, it was just, as far as the offense goes, it was just really bad football all the way around, where they were just, the only hope I have for Iowa State, and I don't think probably going to Dallas is probably in the cards. Like, that feels like a huge long shot. I do think a 7-2 team could make it, but
yeah,
tiebreaker wise, I just don't know if it'll be the Cyclones, even if they could possibly win out, which seems far fetched. The only thing that gives me some hope here is that they were in the same situation last year after that Kansas game. They were left for dead after that, and Matt, got him off the deck, and he's really good at that. I thought they were going to do that this week. I was totally wrong, because I just don't think Colorado's very good after seeing them in person. I think Cincinnati might be, felt like Iowa State had chances to win that, but I think Cincinnati might just be better than them, to be honest.
They're ranked now. They're ranked 24th.
Yeah. I don't think Colorado's actually better than Iowa State, and that's what made this game worse, because I didn't feel like that's a very good football team that beat Iowa State.
You take advantage of they missed some major opportunities early in that game when they had things rolling. They were getting it down there into the red zone. They should have taken a double-digit lead early. They couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, you're sitting there, and Colorado's driving, and they're going to take a lead in the second quarter. I mean, I don't understand how they can look so good and so together on offense, and it looks like Sama can run wherever he wants. He goes for 170 yards, but yet when it comes down to it, they can't punch it in. And I don't think you can overstate what a huge difference not having Conradi or your second string.
Let me ask you
kicker
this,
is.
because I've been thinking about this a lot, and I need you to tell me if I'm just if this is a totally biased Cyclone slant take. But when did Rocco and those guys start to kind of, is it possible that when you add the kicker thing, you lose your two corners, that Rocco and like all the studs on offense that, like, what did I say when that happened? I goes, well, you better just win with shootouts now.
Yeah.
Right? Are they pressing? Like, are they putting too much pressure on themselves because of I don't know the answer to that, but I know that they look super tight and they don't look like the, slingers like they did. Or even against Iowa, it's like they only scored 16 points, but damn it, when you needed to move the ball at the end, they executed, right? You weren't having these penalties. Like, it feels like they're overcompensating in some capacity, maybe trying too hard. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But if you add all that up, it's like, man, they got hit with a double whammy with the kicker and the corner thing right at the same time, and they haven't really been the same since.
I've never watched a game where the field goal target line is in the red zone. The field goal I know you were at the game, but watching the broadcast, ESPN puts the field goal target line for where the team needs to get to be able to attempt a field goal. And usually it's somewhere between the 30 and the 40-yard line. For this game, it was on the 17-yard line. 17-yard. So on that first drive,
it's crazy.
You're sitting there at the 33 and you have to punt the ball because it's 4th and long. You have to punt it from the 33 in a game where you've got to score a bunch of points. Like, this isn't an Iowa-Wisconsin game or an Iowa-Minnesota game where that's somewhat feasible. You play field position and all that.
No, absolutely not.
There are so many things working against Iowa State.
Well, and then on this game too, and this absolutely was a factor. I know that Abu Sama had his best game since that Kansas State game for 2 years ago. But with Carson Hansen out, he's their tough yardage guy.
Yeah. And there were a couple moments, 4th and 1, when you were going with Sama and trying
Sama's
to pound it up the middle.
That is not his strength.
No.
Anybody who's watched him knows that is not where he's good.
There was another play. It was the play before the very controversial interception with the flag picked up. Iowa State's got it. I think it's 2nd and goal around the 4. And they try to run it up the middle with Sama. And what's he do? Bounces it outside and loses 3 yards.
And then they should have just quarterback snuck it 4 times in a row at that spot. Just do the tush push 4 times. You're going to get in. Chances are you're going to get in, even if they know it's coming. 4 times in a row. But, here's my thing. Like, there's the don't make excuses crowd, and I understand that, and like, that's life. We don't make excuses. We just nut up and go. That's how every single one of us lives our life every day. There's also a reality when you're down all these that you're not the same team, right? And you have to find ways to compensate for these guys being out. Like, the 4th string kicker, the walk-on from Nevada, is not as good as Kyle Conradi. It's just the reality. And the way they were going to need to compensate for all these injuries was to outscore these teams and to do kind of what they did last year in a lot of those games, right? Mm-hmm. Where honestly, it's kind of what they had to do last year, and they're not doing it. Like, that was the way. At least last year they still had the kicking thing, and so the only, like, it's like we try and find solutions, like, what's going on. The biggest, it's not like Cincinnati and Colorado have these vaunted defenses that Iowa State's been going up against. They are self-destructing offensively. They are moving the ball 6.3 yards per play. Any team in the country would sign up for that in a conference game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the self-inflicted wounds, the drop snaps, the bad penalties, like the Tyler Moore one you were referencing, the holding on Bramer. I mean, that's taking points off the board. And then it's putting your defense and special teams that are already in Band-Aids, putting them in even worse situations.
It's everybody. It's everywhere. I would say the defense played better than I thought. I'll give them some credit. But at the same time, what did we talk about on Wednesday night? Colorado had given up the most sacks in the Big 12. Iowa State gets 0 sacks.
Man, they tried too. That was an aggressive game plan by John Haycock, and they just can't get to the quarterback.
They only had one QB hurry. That's it. Like, in contrast, Colorado had 5 QB hurries.
And it ended up hurting them, too, because they were bringing all these guys. And if you bring guys and you don't get to the quarterback, then you put yourself in a worse situation. Mm-hmm. And especially for a defense that usually drops 8, it was bad. I don't know what the answer is there other than they just don't have good enough guys up there.
I don't either. And is now the toughest home game remain? I don't know. They're Kansas going to be tough. Maybe Leavitt comes back for Arizona State. I don't know. But up next is BYU, and they just continue to win. They've got a huge game coming up. That's where Big Noon is going to be.
Yeah, the Holy War coming up this weekend.
Against Utah at BYU. So, I mean, they could be potentially a top 10 team coming into Jack Trice. I don't know. How do you feel about the bye coming right now?
I think it's great.
I
don't think
it sucks to go into a bye after back-to-back losses like that, but they're limping. Like they need a reset.
I mean, and maybe you can get Conradi back. I mean,
true.
I doubt it, but it's possible. I think it's possible that he comes back, which would be huge. And little stuff like Rocco, you don't just go from playing the level that he did and has for a long time now and just be like he was on Saturday. Like, does he need to clear his head? Like, did he get roughed up? Like, I don't know. They don't tell us the
injury really
stuff.
Emotional after the game. Yeah. Like, he was on the verge of tears in the post-game press
conference. He's never been on the injury report. So it's not like he's got some lingering thing where he's not practicing or something like that. I don't know. But I think the bye comes at a great time. We didn't even thank our presenting sponsor, Fareway Meat and Grocery, because we just wanted to get into these games. Also want to thank our studio sponsor, our friends at Channel Seed. See this, boys? I'm wearing your vest today. Love my buddies over at Channel Seed. And then also, I want to thank our friends at Freedom Tire for sponsoring the show. And they have locations in Altoona, Ames, Des Moines, West Des Moines, Urbandale. You can go to freedomtire.com and learn more about all their services. Get your oil changed there, guys. It's not just a tire shop. They can do all the servicing for you on your vehicles. The Boulder's cool. You never been there?
No, I haven't been to Boulder specifically. I've been to the area, but I heard you didn't have a great time with the fans at the game.
Oh, well, I hated their fans, but I loved Boulder. I loved like the tailgating, the city, everything about it was really great. But God, their fans are dicks.
What is it about them that
it didn't? Matt has good perspective on this. So they are very. I would call them a bunch of elitists.
There's a West Coast influence.
Oh my God,
for sure.
Yeah. I have one of the great moments of my life, top 5 moments of my life. After the game, my wife and I are walking back to the Airbnb because I'm going to go do post game and all this stuff. And these
walkable from the stadium.
Yeah,
nice.
About a mile walk. And these 2 dudes that are clearly like drunk or on one of those like Lyft scooters,
Yeah.
That you can like rent. They're all over the
God, it's one of those places.
Yeah.
People are probably leaving them all over the goddamn place.
Boulder. Yeah.
So these 2 guys, it's me and a handful of Iowa State fans, and we're all walking out, and we're all just completely depleted, like just heads hanging. And these little bastards are just laying into us like, F you, go Buffs. Go back to Iowa, you rednecks. Like, they are just leaning into us hard. And it's kind of like, I wanted to fight them, but, the old game day men's health in me came out, but my wife's holding me back. Like,
they serve beer, right? Full
beer.
Yeah. How was the beer situation there?
They have like a beer garden that's inside.
Oh, nice.
It's like
craft beer.
It's crazy. Like, their stadium's awesome. And they're like mountains and like everything about it's great except these little pricks. And these dudes, after taunting us by driving by, they whip around the corner, and the scooter loses its footing, and they biff it. And they
Wait
eat
a second. Was it a
hard.
tandem scooter?
No, it was two little douchebags on one scooter.
They were on what? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God.
They ate it.
So did you laugh?
I taunted their asses. I said, "That's fucking karma."
Nice.
Yeah, I got in there like, it wasn't my best moment, to be honest. I think I probably
You were like
should've-
Tyler Moore. You got in their face. You got the
should've-
taunting penalty.
Should have held back, but I also think that the Cyclone fans, I may have picked up a little street cred because I did what everybody else was thinking. Little pricks. Like, it was great. So I also had another situation, and this is when I knew Iowa State was going to lose. I almost called you and told you, just bet your mortgage on Colorado. Friday, we're walking to breakfast in downtown Boulder, and a bird swoops down in front of us, flies into a glass window, drops dead right in front of us.
God.
I'm talking like 5 feet. Like it happened right in front of us, drops to its death right there. If that's not an omen for what's
In front
to
of
come.
your kids?
My kids weren't there. It was me and my wife and
okay.
Bloom's wife and our friends who we were with. And it's like, the mascot is a bird, for God's sake. So yeah, I'm a little more of a believer in the higher power, that those little pricks from Boulder, they're just very uppity. Even like when you're at their like bar scene, they're either really cool hippies who I love hippies. I love hanging out with hippies. They're great. Like they're like really in tune with the earth and all this cool stuff that I'd like to be able to experience. Or they're little rich frat pricks who I can't stand.
Like these people.
Yeah, that's my family there. That's my my sister Allie in the Colorado sweatshirt, my sister Mary in the Iowa State T-shirt, and their husbands. So Allie and Ryan, they just moved to Denver within the last year. She is an Iowa fan. He's an Irishman. My sister Mary and her husband Matt went to Iowa State, so they came out to go to the game. Look, Matt's got a tall boy Modelo because they sell beer at the stadium. And they're decked out in their Iowa State gear, and I can see Allie and Ryan like crisp, brand new Colorado Buffalo gear. And I said, "What? You guys are Buffs fans now?" And so she's an Iowa fan, and she said, "Well, I didn't want to wear my Iowa gear to the game, so we decided to wear Colorado."
I respect that.
Yeah,
so
my
much.
question is because I respect it. Because I think there are a lot of people, like my dad, would wear Iowa gear. But is it worse that they're cheering for a team they don't even like against Iowa State?
I saw multiple dudes who were decked out head to toe in Hawk gear.
My sister Allie said she saw a lot of Iowa Hawkeye fans there.
So whatever, like I don't care, whatever. But one guy, this is annoying. Like I think even an Iowa fan could agree that like this was really annoying. Like the section I was in was like players' parents, like literally like Rocco Beck's mom was like 5 seats down from me. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this kid, he seemed like college age. Honestly, I'm just being brutal. He seems like one of those douchebag Chicago people that went to Iowa and is like comes from a super rich family and is just a little punk. And he's head to toe in his Hawk gear, and he just comes down into the Iowa State section, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm just, I'm just supporting my team. My team plays later." No, you were being a troll, dude. Like the guy he was clearly drunk. Like he was just trying to ruffle people's feathers.
Speaking of trolls, my dad was an all-time troll.
Oh my God!
In the group chat.
Well, he's got an uphill climb now because my wife is one of the nicest people in the entire world, and she is not a Don Hassel fan anymore.
This guy was texting more about Iowa State than he was about Iowa's 37-0 win. Called it the best Saturday ever. And your wife had your phone at the time?
Yeah, 'cause what was going on was she was navigating us to get back to our Airbnb, and I'm just bad with directions, and I just like, "Hey, take my phone." Like that. So, of course, this is right after the game, and the phone's just, I'm after a game like that, I'll have 100 text messages in 15 minutes. And she's just watching them as they pour through, and all we're getting on the phone is just Don Hassel just being a total dick.
This is just one example. Boy, I'm sick and tired of Ames fans saying that pass interference didn't cause us to lose the game. But, get over it. It was the right call. Ball was nowhere near catchable. And then, of course, his favorite Twitter follow is Dan Palm, who has Matt Campbell up for every single opening, including Penn State. Now, we're going to have to talk about this. We're going to have to talk about Matt Campbell to Penn State. Because it's...
Well, my wife...
that's real.
She's a very sweet... You know Ashley well.
Mm-hmm.
Matt knows her better than you do. She doesn't really dislike anybody. She doesn't really get mad. She's not happy. Like, she took the loss way worse than I did on set. Like, she was completely depleted.
Oh, okay.
And then she's not used to it. Like, Don can say anything he wants to me, and I'm like, it's just Mr. Hassel. It's just fine. Like, it is what it is. Well, she's not used to that. Like, she doesn't have that relationship with him, right? She's not used to just being harassed right after a game. Well, she was pissed. So I think that we probably need to line up some time for her and Dawn to maybe do a FaceTime or to...
Yeah, are they Facebook friends?
Well, he asked in the chat, will she let me add her on Facebook? And she's not feeling it right now. I think just for the sake of everybody, we need to just get those two in the same room and bury the hatchet, because I know they'll like each other. I know they'll be friends.
Can my wife join this? She's still
no, she's burned the bridge.
So. Oh,
yeah,
it was a really good weekend other than the game. Like we had an awesome event on Friday night and had so much fun. And I'm so glad they are back in the Big 12. Like, that is where I thought. And the one thing too, talking to Colorado fans, they hated the Pac-12. Like they're like, it's so nice to play teams that have fan bases that want to come here and go to games. And so that was really, and that was special for me seeing Ralphie. Like, I grew up in Western Iowa. The Nebraska-Colorado game was the game where I grew up in the 90s. Like, the day after Thanksgiving, like Cordell Stewart, like that was the game. Like, we were always locked into that one. So that was cool for me. Like, I just love college football. So to see that atmosphere and to see that stadium firsthand was awesome. Really glad that I went.
We will circle back to the Penn State conversation, the Matt Campbell Penn State conversation, but I think it's time to get into Iowa, and it kind of, goes together because Iowa's playing Penn State this week.
It's crazy how that worked out. Like, so Iowa's going to be front and center for a lot of, discussion this week for sure.
Iowa obliterated Luke Fickell. Like, you spend your whole offseason basing everything on this game. 42 push-ups after every practice because we gave up 42 to Iowa. We're going to go out. We're going to get bigger in the trenches because we couldn't stop Iowa on the ground last year. They ran all over us. It's all building to this game. You're wearing these throwback uniforms, which I thought were great.
Yeah, those are cool. I like them.
It's really your last chance to get a win. And you completely self-destruct. 3 early turnovers in your own territory, and boom, the game is over at the end of the first quarter. This was... I can't imagine being a Wisconsin fan right now. Like, they have to be as down as they've ever been. Because this is the worst Wisconsin team probably since the 80s.
This Fickell thing not working out is one of the most surprising whiffs on a coaching hire I can ever recall.
Who could have imagined it would go this poorly?
Because he was the guy. Like, they were thinking
Cincinnati
Ohio
was in
State.
the playoff.
Yeah. Like, it was kind of like, well, Ryan Day's not going anywhere, so I guess I'll take Wisconsin. Like, that was like where he was at. And like, to not, like, James Franklin got fired because he's had a bad stretch with a really good team, but his tenure's been really good at Penn State, even though you can like poke holes in like what he's done. Fickell has been a dumpster fire since the time he walked into Madison. It's truly staggering. I don't know how this went so south so quickly. But Iowa, it was a emasculation.
Let's hear from Fickell after the game.
that's as low as it can be. And I apologize. I apologize to our guys, to not be ready, to not have them ready. I'm dumbfounded in a lot of ways, but that's my job. And, this is a game we've been talking about since January, and been doing a lot of things to make sure we were ready and prepared, and obviously we were not.
I'm surprised he hasn't been fired yet.
What is his buyout?
Well, it's not James Franklin's. It's not $49 million, but we've seen buyouts don't matter. Like, you can get the money. Shit, the Big Ten's going to this private equity thing anyway. Every school's going to get a lot more money from wherever. All these other coaches that got fired this weekend, and he's still there, that surprised me. But they've got number 1 Ohio State coming in this week, and they're like a 30-point underdog.
It's just shocking. Let's get to Iowa specifically, which was a really interesting game, and because as you noted out, the game was such a mismatch, just everywhere across the board. Where the glorious thing for the Hawkeyes is they really, like, Gronowski was not like sharp, right? I mean.
No, I mean, he just didn't have to do anything.
Yeah,
17 to 24, 107 yards.
Yeah, it was fine. Like, but he never was really like, and that's about the best thing you could draw up for Iowa. These defensive touchdowns, it's just domination across the board. Where, whatever that injury is, it was never really tested.
Which is a good thing because he wasn't anywhere close to 100% in my opinion. Like I don't think he's anywhere close to the quarterback he was before that injury. Now, maybe he continues to get better week by week. I don't know. I think he's going to have to be better against Penn State if they're going to win that game. And I know they're reeling. They've lost 3 in a row, but you know how this thing goes. Oh, God. Was that a picture of Gronowski throwing without the laces?
Oh, my God.
What? God damn it!
Did you plant that, Van Winkle, or is this just like a surprise to you?
No, I did not even notice.
Oh my God. Breaking.
You know
news.
what? I'll cut him some slack. 37-0 kind of makes up for that, right?
I don't know. Does it, Chris?
Right?
I don't know. He did throw an interception, and I hope this wasn't the play. I don't think it was. I think he was throwing more down the field. This looks like one of those screen passes where it's okay to throw without the laces because you get it and you just got to throw it right away. Right? It doesn't matter. Now, McNamara was trying to launch it 40 yards down the field with no laces. So I'm going to let that slide, but I am worried about Gronowski's health. I am. Like, he has to be the quarterback he was against Indiana if they're going to beat Penn State and have a chance against Oregon and have a chance against USC.
The Penn State game is super interesting. It was going to be interesting regardless, but without Franklin, and now you've got like the dead cat bounce possibility.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
And then you have a new quarterback. Like, it's a little bit odd.
I don't feel as good as I did before Franklin was fired. Because I do, more often than not, a coach gets fired and all of a sudden you look better that next game. You're more charged up. You feel like there's been a reset. Like, look what UCLA is doing. More on that later. But Penn State has a backup quarterback as well. Drew Allar's out for the season. And Penn State has to go to a guy that hasn't seen the field much. He's a redshirt freshman. He was a 4-star in last year's class. And I think the 8th ranked quarterback overall. His name is Ethan Grunkemeyer.
So you have Gronkowski and Grunkemeyer.
Yeah, Gronowski is facing Grunkemeyer. And
I don't know, man. Like, this part of me, this Penn State thing, like, your point is valid. it's a classic gambling thing where you would bet on Penn State here because of the dead cat bounce thing. But like this team all came back for NIL money and to win a national championship. Now their coach is gone. I just don't see a lot of these guys. It doesn't feel like it where, play for the front of the jersey, man. I don't know. I think they may be toast. This might be Florida State last year.
I'm not saying that Iowa's not going to win the game.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
this feels like Florida State.
I'm more worried now than I was before Franklin was fired.
Completely understand. This feels more Florida State to me than like, hey, get them off the deck. I just don't know how many of these guys in that locker room really care anymore. They just lost to Northwestern at home.
They're the first team in history to lose back-to-back games as 20-plus point favorites.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And they really, like, UCLA, like, beat them too, right? Like,
yeah.
I know that they had a shot at the end of that game, but it didn't feel like they even deserved to be in that game at the end. I didn't get to watch the Northwestern one yet. I just was watching. I couldn't believe it. Like, the Penn State fall off is one of the most surprising. If you think about that's what I was gonna go long on that. You want me to do that now?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Text from Tim this morning at Wealth Charter. He wanted to remind everybody it's the last quarter of the year, so you need to make sure you're getting the most out of your contribution limits. There are new limits this year for people in the 60 to 63 range. That's why you have a professional taking care of your money. Going to maximize everything with our friends at Wealth Charter. Certainly not maximizing anything in State College, as they're going to pay this guy, $42 million to leave and
49,
do nothing. $49 million, to leave and do nothing.
Fickle's buyout is $27 million. So,
okay, thank you for that, Matt.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had the Jimbo Fisher one a couple of years ago that was in the $70 million range. Right now, Mike Norvell's is in the $50 million range. You mentioned the private equity thing. And my buddy Stuart Manziel at The Athletic, loves Stu. He had a great column last night on this. I'm just going to read directly from Stuart's column on Penn State. On Sunday, Penn State announced it has fired a 12th-year head coach, James Franklin, whom they now owe roughly $45 million buyout. These schools aren't broke. They're just wildly irresponsible spenders. And if they find a private equity firm to come rushing to their rescue, as the Big Ten is actively seeking, they're just going to find a way to light that money on fire too. I thought that was absolutely perfect. The Franklin and Penn State thing all offseason, and I fell for it too. I don't think I fell for anything. I watched the games. They had all these first-round draft picks coming back, right? Like they're really talented. You have this veteran quarterback, and it felt like it was the year that – because Franklin's not a bad coach. He might be annoying. You know, he may not have won the big games in the past, but it's obviously this guy is pretty good. If you look at what he took over there, what they've been able to do – I'll say it, like, you know, Florida State last year is one thing. Chris, I think the Penn State fall off in the first 5-6 weeks of this season has to be one of the most shocking drop-offs in college football history. When you look at what they had talent-wise, veteran quarterback, schedule that you thought was pretty manageable, right? To be October the 13th going into this Iowa game, if I would have told you in August when we were breaking these down, James Franklin's going to be fired, Penn State's not going to be in the top 25, and Iowa's going to be a field goal favorite, do you know how crazy that would have sounded to us in August? This is an absolutely staggering turn of events in State College. And I think it just speaks to, like, there's so many layers to this. I'm going to break it all down on the CW pod today.
Okay, great.
This might be a 45-minute monologue.
Yeah, I know you can go a lot longer on this
than we have time for. But I just think that, like, these buyouts, like,
do you really think that the buyouts are going to go down when these schools continue to show that they're willing to do whatever it takes? When the donors will do whatever it takes? Because
here's what happens now. Like, let's say it's Matt Rule. Okay, I don't know, but that's the name getting tossed around right now. And
well, it makes sense. He's a Penn State guy. I mean, he's a State College guy.
Right.
He's got a house in Cape May. That's where all the Penn Staters go to, Cape May, New Jersey, this summer, and he's got a house there.
let's say they zero in on Matt Rule, and Nebraska's just entered the top 25 for the first time in how long? Well, then Nebraska scrambles and does everything, because this is what happened to Florida State with Norvell, right? Like he had one good year, SEC starts sniffing around. Oh, let's raise all this money we can, and these guys. The sport has always been controlled by the suits and the coaches. Well, now the players have all this power. There's got to be some sort of middle ground where these guys can't demand a $75 million buyout if you suck at your job. The Luke Fickell thing is more so than any. The guy hasn't done shit since he got to Wisconsin. Matt, one of the great disappointments in college football history when it comes to coaching hires. And they're going to have to pay him $27 million. It's ridiculous. If we sucked at our jobs, we would just get fired.
Well, here's the difference. It's not the buyout. It's the contract that they signed to begin with. And the ridiculous amount of years that they put on the back end of it. And you have agents who represent both coaches and administrators. So,
yeah, great point.
The agents are going to keep trying to pump this up and try to keep both sides going.
Yeah, because it's the same 5 guys for the whole industry.
What has to change is the contracts themselves when they're signed. Because, I'll just use my example to kind of make sense of this. When I was at ESPN, I had just signed a 2-year contract in, I don't know, January of 2017. Signed a 2-year contract. In April, all these layoffs come, and I'm a layoff. Well, you can't just not pay me, even if it was for, performance, which it wasn't. You still have to pay the contract that you signed.
Understood.
So you still have to pay that out. Now, they still owed me all that money, but they didn't have to pay me all that money up front. They were still going to pay me basically monthly until I found another job. And then once I got another job, if I was going to make more than that, then they didn't have to pay me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just sign a coach to a 5-year contract for $50 million. He sucks in year 1.
I understand all that.
Fire him and not have to pay him.
I'm just saying, but what I'm saying is they've been one-sided.
Extremely
one-sided. These coaches have been able to bend these athletic directors over a barrel for so long.
Well, that's where it has to change on the front end. And
Correct.
They say, listen, we're giving you 5 years, $50 million. But if you don't do this, this, and this, in year 3, this is our out. In year 4, this is our out. And it's not the entire price of the contract, because it has to be more performance-based. But it's easier to do it in that kind of job, wins and losses, as opposed to, for me, how do you show me that it's performance-based, in front? If I sign a contract that way, you're not performing up to expectations. There's no way to, put that in. There's no stats.
Yeah, what's the definition?
For sports announcers.
Yeah.
Somebody should start it, but there's not. Mistakes,
but what do you
flubs,
do?
Mispronunciations.
Honestly, think about this. If you're Nebraska, they have all the money in the world, and they want your guy. Has Matt Rule done enough to give him this? I'm assuming he has a decent buyout right now. But, would you upend everything financially to secure that guy? They probably will.
Are you talking about Penn State? Would Penn State do that?
If Penn State just comes and this is our guy, we want him. Nebraska kind of has to at this point, right? Or has he done enough?
Well, I don't think you can convince Penn State fans that he has, because what's the reason you fired James Franklin? He couldn't win the big game. What big game has Matt Rule won? None. Hasn't beaten any ranked teams at Nebraska.
And then if it's anybody else, if it's the other names that were Dillingham, Campbell.
Matt Campbell.
Matt
Campbell's not going to excite the Penn State fans either.
Pat Fitzgerald. I saw him on the list.
Because they think, Penn State fans are thinking right now, Cignetti, Lanning.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's where they're going.
Mm-hmm. Our friend Josh Pate, love Josh, and I honestly, I was watching this at 2 o'clock in the morning last night because I couldn't sleep. And I think that this is one of the best commentaries on Campbell that I've ever heard. It's exactly how I feel. He put it into words better than I could. We're just going to play a little snippet from the Josh Pate College Football Show.
Matt Campbell is the best candidate available out there. He's the best candidate out of all the lists that I've seen out there. Are you looking for flash, or are you looking for a football coach? If you're looking for flash, look elsewhere. If you're looking for a stud football coach, he's just in plain sight. He's right there at Iowa State. Iowa State was in a conference title game last year. Iowa State is horrible historically, and Matt Campbell's won consistently there.
And he goes on. That's like a 2-minute conversation. And I could not agree with him more. Of course, I don't want Matt to go to Penn State. But as far as we've seen a lot of these things, like maybe hiring for the flash isn't what you do here. Like I would love to see what Matt could do with those type of resources. Again, I don't want him to leave.
He's not going to excite the Penn State fan base. And Josh, right after that, and he went on for several minutes, so we just clipped a 27 seconds or whatever of it. But he gave an example of why Matt Campbell may not happen. Matt Campbell may not be offered the job at Penn State. Pate said he was talking with someone somewhere else that's going to have a major job opening. And he said Matt Campbell should be the number one choice. And this person said, yeah, but they just lost at Colorado. And Pate said he just threw his hands up because it's like you have to be able to see deeper than that. Like, you're an idiot if you're going to just completely disqualify Matt Campbell because he's lost to Cincinnati and Colorado this year at Iowa State. Look at all the challenges that they're facing this season. Look at what he's done consistently at Iowa State. If you want to build a winner, and that's what Josh Pate's saying here, build a winning football program, you bring in somebody like Matt Campbell. But if you want to win the room, if you want to win the hire, that's not going to be the guy. So that's the question. What do you need to do here? Do you want to win the hire and have everybody get all excited and throw a parade? Or do you want to maybe win a national championship down the road? And I don't know. Like at a place like Penn State, I don't know if those fans would accept a Matt Campbell.
Do you think Cignetti would go there? Like, do you think he should go there?
I
would make the argument that you shouldn't go there if you're Cignetti.
Yeah,
honestly.
he's got it rolling at Indiana.
He's a god there. He can do whatever he wants.
Right. I would say no, because what did we just see? If Matt Campbell lost to Cincinnati and Colorado when he was at Penn State, they fire him instantly.
And after this buyout situation, they're not going to give any coach that type of, unless it's Dan Lanning maybe, or Cignetti.
And Lanning would be an idiot to leave what he's got at Oregon. Look, I'm not saying that Matt Campbell is going to go to Penn State. I'm saying Penn State is absolutely going to consider him. I mean, if it's a list of 5-10 people, Matt Campbell has to be on it.
And he's kind of like personality-wise the opposite of the guy they're getting rid of. Like I'm just guessing. Like Franklin's a little bit like Harbaugh, where he produces, but he also kind of just wears on you after a while. Right. Just talks a lot. Like I'm guessing that there's a lot of people in that athletic department that can't watch that guy pack up his office fast enough just because of how he is to work with. Matt's the opposite. So I really liked Josh's commentary. I'm going to send him a message because I actually think it's a really good thing for Iowa State fans to hear after the last 2 weeks.
It is, because we've seen a lot of people criticizing the coaching staff, and look, that's fine. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
There should be. It was like criticize everything. There were problems all over the place.
Nobody's free from criticism after that game on Saturday.
I mentioned even in success, Iowa State had problems. Like, what the hell were they doing at the end of the half, letting Colorado with 6 seconds left complete a 25-yard pass against a prevent defense that allowed them to attempt a field goal. Now, the field goal was missed.
Yeah.
But it's shit that can't happen. So, yeah, criticize. Criticize the coaches. Criticize. You know, you've earned that right. It's the NIL era. You can criticize the players, too.
Do you think
the blame goes everywhere for Iowa State, but that doesn't change the fact that Matt Campbell is one of the best coaches in the country.
All accurate. Matt, where are these odds coming from?
This was
they got to be made up.
CFB home. Yeah, I'll see.
I
if
think
I can,
they're just making them
They didn't
up.
source anything, but I'll see if I can find an official.
Raise
odds.
a question. The Alex Golish thing is really interesting. I don't know if he's done enough to get the Penn State job. Like, that seems really far-fetched to me. But would he be considered a sexy hire for somebody right now? Former Iowa State recruiting coordinator, tight end coach, assistant head coach to Campbell here at Iowa State, friend of the program.
And he's got him in the top 20. They just smoked North Texas.
He feels lined up for the Arkansas job to me, but like if something like this came up, it's clearly a better job. I'd be surprised if he got at the level of Penn State.
These are made up odds.
These
Like
odds
Fran
can't
Brown is Syracuse is terrible. Fran Brown's the head coach at Syracuse. That's not a real. It's college football home just making shit up.
Let's do today's. We're talking Indiana. Good transition on Triple B with Kelderman Manufacturing.
Bigger, better, bolder. Built by Kelderman Manufacturing.
I'm going Indiana on mine because I eat crow. I thought Oregon would kill him. I really do. I thought Oregon was going to win this game by 17 points. And Indiana, and I'll show you my poll for this week too, because the Penn State thing is really jacking with my mind. But when Oregon went in and won at State College, it's just like, God dang, like that's so impressive, and the whiteout and all that stuff. I didn't think Indiana had a chance in this game, and they controlled the whole game. And this Cignetti is just so damn impressive across the board. What did he say? It was last year. What did he say? He's like, Google me. All I do is win, or whatever it was. Like the guy, I'm so impressed with what he's been able to do there, and I just give him his flowers. That was a hell of a win by Indiana to go into Eugene. That's one of the toughest places in the country to play. You got to travel west. I had Oregon as my number one team in the country. Shout out to the Hoosiers.
And soundly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy for those fans too. Like being an Iowa State fan, like I'm rooting for like Indiana fans to be able to, like, that's cool. They had no history in that sport, and now they're, one of the. And I hope he stays. We need coaches. We need these guys to stay in these little that aren't blue bloods. This is good for the sport. Hell yeah, go Indiana.
It just, as an Iowa fan, it just makes you go like,
oh God, you guys were that close.
What if?
Yeah, I get it.
I'm falling on the sword for both of us. I'm going UCLA. We had this as a complete drop-off week for UCLA.
Like that's impressive.
They blew their wad, so to speak, against Penn State. Now they've got to go all the way to East Lansing to face Michigan State. They're a 7-point dog. We had best bets on the Spartans, and UCLA just destroyed them. I mean, like Iowa did against Wisconsin. It was that level of a beatdown on the road. And Nico Iamaleava all of a sudden looks like the quarterback that Tennessee thought he was going to be. And UCLA is a really interesting team moving forward because they have a lot of games coming up against really good teams in the Big Ten, and they could play major spoiler if they continue to play like that. That was not a fluke against Penn State. That was not a one-off.
Don't you just hire this new Heisel kid?
He's a hot commodity, but look, he's only called 2 games ever.
I know, but
as an offensive play caller.
I do think there's a value here in getting a guy who truly wants to be there. And he's like,
yes, you're saying UCLA. Well, here's the problem. He's not the interim coach.
I know.
Tim Skipper's the guy, and everybody's like, why isn't he getting any of the credit? Everybody thinks
you're right. Yeah.
But offensively, they're carving people up, and he's calling the plays, and he's the son of a coach that had success.
And he grew up there. Like, there's passion. He loves that place.
And you can sell a program on him. Like,
that's what I'm
blonde
saying.
hair, young.
There's just not that many guys who are going to be lined up to take that job right now. Look at this guy. He's a good-looking man.
It looks like if you asked AI to make a young, hot coaching commodity.
I would consider it. I'm not kidding. Like, the fit is so important in all these things, as we've seen over the years. This is really impressive.
Well, there's no way that they aren't considering everything right now, considering what UCLA
and you're going to get
has
him
done
for
these
like
last 2 weeks.
You get him for like a fifth of the price, and they have money problems there.
Major money problems.
Yeah.
And you know what else they have? Major investment problems by fans. Like, it's hard to get people in Los Angeles to come out to the Rose Bowl and watch UCLA football. It's really hard. But the way that they've turned things around now, all of a sudden they're a story and they're interesting. And man, did we whiff on that pick.
But we did pretty good otherwise. I think
Yeah,
two
show us
guys
our
went
locks.
8-2. I think I don't have it down, but I think
that was our only loss.
I was 3-1. I know that.
Remember, I
was
had
2-1.
the North Texas USF. I picked the under in that game, and that game almost went to 100 points. So that was my miss. But I went 3-1.
We all went 3-1 this week. That's
Hassel
great.
went 2-1. He only had 3 locks.
Oh,
but
okay. All right.
You guys had a couple of the same picks, but we did pretty good.
Good week. Good week, boys. Maddie, who you going with, brother?
Prime time.
Man,
Yeah,
I
I feel good for him too.
I'm happy for him. Yeah.
They had a stat during the game. He's had like 16 surgeries in the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
To come out-
Including last week.
Yes, like
For
the week
blood
of the
clots.
game. Just credit to Prime for
I will say
what
this,
he's done there, and just
he that started off where he was just really tough to like. He's been humbled a little bit, and you really rooting for him. I am at least. I thought it was cool. Like, the problem was, it's like he got that job. His kids are there, and like ESPN's putting him on every week, and there's rappers on the sideline, and it's just not a lot of the country could like get behind it because it was just so much.
Was Michael Irvin down on the sideline again? I think
He was,
walking
and
around.
one of my really good friends, Brant, I know who's listening, son got his picture taken with Michael Irvin, and Michael Irvin, being Michael Irvin, covered up the Cyclones on my friend's son's shirt for the picture. He was really cool with him.
Nice. Well, I don't agree with Colorado fans storming the field after that game, but
Hey, 2
shows you-
weeks in a row, blue blood Cyclones have gotten the field stormed against them. That's probably never happened before.
We know the Colorado
no
kids were
chance
just
that's ever happened.
drunk and high, so they're just having a good time out in Boulder.
God, those guys are dicks. Those fans are dicks. Honestly, like, horrible fans, but a really cool place to go.
You want to get to your poll?
Yeah, really a shake-up here. Thanks to our friends at Big Grove for sponsoring this every week. Listen, I put Indiana 3. This is because I rewarded Oregon, Hassel. I'm going to talk you through this here. Because it's like, does Indiana deserve to be number 1? Because they just went on the road and beat my number 1. But then Oregon's big win was Penn State, who's completely collapsed.
Yeah.
So I have Ohio State 1, Miami 2, Indiana 3. And I've been higher on Texas Tech than everybody all year, even in the preseason. Like, I'm a big believer in this. They bludgeon everybody that they play. They're continuing to do that. So I have them. I think they're just as good as any of these SEC teams. I don't know if they'll win the national championship, but I think if you stack them up right now, mano a mano, I think Texas Tech could hold its way with any of these teams. They're just penalized because they're in the Big 12. And then A&M rounds out my top 5. Dropped Oregon to 10. I still think they're really good. I'm probably the highest. I have Utah at 11. I think they're really good. Utah played with Texas Tech for 3 quarters, and then it kind of just got off the rails right at the end. But, like, they are really good up front. They have a really good quarterback. Oklahoma's a little weird after that loss to Texas, right? I think if I had to poke a hole in my poll, which I like to do, I don't have Notre Dame in the top 16. They're probably a top 16 team. Their 2 losses are 2 really good teams by really small amounts. So I would poke that hole in this poll that I have right now. But what do you think? You see any glaring?
I would put Ohio State 1, Miami 2, Indiana 3 as well. After that, You can't argue with what Texas Tech has done, just destroying everybody.
I mean, I'm like way high on them. Most people have them like 6 and 7.
Ole Miss had a really weird game. You have them at 6.
I did drop them.
They were screwing around with. They were a 32-point favorite against Washington State, and they were like that was a game all the way until the end. They just sleptwalk through that. I don't know if I'd have LSU in my top 10.
You don't know if you would?
I don't know about LSU. I think
good win by Bama at Missouri. Missouri's really good.
That was a huge win for
good
for
win
Alabama.
by them. Yeah.
No, I don't. I saw a lot of people were pissed, Illinois fans mostly, that Notre Dame is ranked as high as they are. Well, they're not. How you play these games has to matter. Illinois got just pillaged by the 2 top-ranked teams they played. Indiana beat them by 100 points. They weren't that competitive with Ohio State, and that was at Illinois. I think.
I also toot my own horn just for a minute. I was pretty high on USC going into the season, and I think a good example of
really good bounce back from them.
Yeah, and like it's one of those deals where we just can't as fans overreact to 1 or 2 bad seasons when you know you have a good coach. Like Lincoln Riley had proven time and time again, getting Oklahoma to the playoff. Heisman Trophy winner. Like the guy didn't just forget how to coach. They had a league transition. They're starting to bounce back. They beat Michigan. They are absolutely a team. And that makes Iowa's schedule going forward a lot more tough too, right? Because we didn't really know. We knew that would be a hard game going into the
I had
year,
that chalked up as a blowout loss before the season even began.
But now, they've proven it, though, is what I'm saying. Like, this isn't looking like a 7-5 type USC team. This is looking probably more like a 10-2, 9-3 type team. So I'm really impressed with them.
I've got no issues.
Matt, you want to give away some tickets to Disney on Ice? I know.
Yeah, we do. We had a contest going thanks to our friends at the Iowa Event Center. We're giving away 10 4-packs of tickets to Disney on Ice. And here are our winners: Adam Arndorfer, Justin Cook, Abby Faust, Brendan Hageman, Melissa Michael, Ashley Minnow, Dan Morgan, Alan Rogers, Tom Simon, and Krista Smeens. Congratulations, you're going to Disney on Ice.
Well, man, I got a couple little girls that want to go to that. Are you going
9
this year?
shows. I'm going, 9 shows
we'll
over
have to maybe
4 days.
set that up and get the girls there together.
Encanto and Frozen this year.
Encanto!
So November 27th through the 30th. Tickets are on sale at HiVTix.com.
This is over Thanksgiving?
Yeah, they always do it over Thanksgiving.
I also want to thank our buddies over at Siouxland Scale Service.
Yes.
They're going to be a new sponsor on Iowa Everywhere, specifically on the CW pod and here on Two Guys. But they do sales, installation, repair, calibration on these. If you're in ag, you know about these guys. Siouxland Scale Service. I look forward to telling you more about them. And we're going to do a little feature like what's weighing me down. And that trip to Boulder is weighing me down. I'll tell you that. Anything else before we wrap things up, Chris? There is so much to get. Did you see the Iowa basketball team? Are you worried at all about that? I don't think a lot of
stop
stock.
it. Enough of this crap. 30. You guys already trying to turn the page to basketball season because you're losing games.
You lost by 30 to
I don't care. It's a scrimmage.
St. Louis, SLE.
Who gives a shit?
I just asked for your opinion. You don't have to get so defensive.
I suppose you're going to be covering the Iowa State Creighton scrimmage like it's a Final Four game.
Brend and Rob Gray will be over there. I'm not going
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to make the trip.
Why? It's a scrimmage.
You are right. These don't really mean much because all the coaches take them differently. All I wanted was your opinion. You're the Iowa expert on the show, and I wanted to present the facts and see what your opinion was. You're a commentator.
I do not care that Iowa lost to St. Louis. I don't care by how much.
Okay.
It's a scrimmage. I believe in Ben McCullum.
Oh, I forgot. We wanted to talk about the Tech fans, these insane Texas Tech fans. Look at this. They got penalized for throwing. They always throw the tortillas. Well, they're throwing too many tortillas now, and reportedly, according to Lance Leipold from Kansas, somebody got hit with a pocket knife. These Tech fans, they don't know how to control themselves with success. They don't know how to handle it.
Crazy atmosphere down there. Yeah, they
Oh
got
my
penalized twice, 2 15-yard penalties for throwing shit onto the field, mostly tortillas, which is a tradition, I guess. And Leipold got into it with McGuire in the post-game handshake, and then in the post-game press conference, he said that somebody threw a pocket knife onto the field.
My experience with this was, so Saturday night, I'm at the Airbnb. I'm just flipping back to all the games, and I didn't have my multiple TV set up, unfortunately, so I'm like flipping back and forth. And I come back to the Tech-Kansas game, and it looked like it was hell. Like, all you could see is just red smoke.
It looked like they were playing the game in the Middle East, like during a Gulf War.
Fireworks and drone show during the game? What?
They can't handle it. They can't handle all this success.
God. I wish Iowa State was playing them this year.
I don't. That's the last thing I want right now is a trip to Lubbock. My God. They are really good.
Freaking war.
Look at this. This is in the game.
This is like leading into the third quarter.
Who thought that's a good idea? Have I ever told you about the dirt track race I was calling one time? And it was like a huge race, a huge late model race, and I was a pit reporter. And the track, well, during the pace lap, when all the cars are, the announcers getting everybody fired up, they did some fireworks to get everybody pumped up.
Yeah.
And a firework went haywire and hit a woman standing on top of a trailer.
Is she okay?
She's fine. About an hour later, we got the race started. It knocked her off the trailer. She had burned, broken. Oh, it was a bad deal.
Good God.
Guys, anyone who's listening, if you're in athletics or whatever, fireworks during the event's generally a bad idea. Just wait till the game's over.
I can't stand it. You get all that smoke there. You can hardly see the. How is that allowed? I just don't get how that shit is allowed. Come on. Use common sense here.
I get it in a way. They are fired up over there. I think these Indiana fans have got to just be nuts right now, too. These fan bases that don't know success, and then they just lose their damn minds when they get it. God. In Tech, too, it's like the Indiana one in a weird way. Tech's always kind of been good, and their football craze. Indiana's been a basketball school forever. That's all that they've ever cared about, and now they're top 5. It's really a cool story. I'm rooting for anybody but the Blue Bloods going forward.
Let's go. Texas Tech versus Indiana national championship game.
Last but certainly not least, I do want to remind everybody, too, you got a couple weeks left to do your aeration services with our friends, the Kaburski brothers. That's a big deal. You talk to these guys, you sit down, you get a couple of cold beers and the Kaburski brothers, and they will tell you is when you're looking for your lawn in the spring, aeration in the fall with overseeding is one of the most important things you can do. You got a couple of weeks left. Give our friends, the Kaburski brothers, a call. So just another reminder, we are Wednesday nights now for our second show of the week. We're doing this for football season. We will probably go back to Thursdays once basketball starts because of all the... Can we get a picture where I'm not 30 pounds heavier?
Yeah.
Well, that was also the morning that I was
all puffed
up. We're using all these... God damn.
Come back to Iowa, Hassel. Get you some
I was just
updated
back there.
Wednesday nights under the
Look
lights.
at you in that... What are you doing?
I'm
Not that much different.
Yes, he does. Look how fat he is in that picture.
I'll do some photoshopping.
You're going to make him skinny, put the
Squeeze you a little
Ozempic
bit.
filter on him?
Oh, God. Well, I appreciate you guys. That game sucked, and you made me laugh, so thank you. It's always great. Murph and Andy's coming up today at 1. I'm sure they're going to have all sorts of takes. Oh, God, Downs is going to be insufferable today.
Oh, yeah, he was on it. He was on it Saturday night.
I got to say, Downs pouring out the spotted cow
That was
on
good.
live. That's one of the quality smacks you'll ever see. That was iconic. I was very proud of Andrew for pouring that shit out. Then drinking the Big Grove. Fantastic. All right, he is Chris Hassel. Maddie Van Winkle does an amazing job producing. here on Iowa Everywhere. We will be back on Wednesday night. Have a great work week, everybody.